While San Francisco has been known for their heavy investment in their defensive line, they decided not to draft a single one in this last draft. And I believe it signifies the faith they have in some guys coming up. Specifically, I think Chris Kasarik has been monitoring the development of Robert Beal Jr. and has been impressed. During this offseason, for instance, Beal Jr. already looks noticeably more muscular and looks like he's also added a considerable amount of mass. So in this video, I wanted to dive deeper into the player that is RBJ and what he can offer San Francisco going forward. Despite being picked in the 5th round, Beal Jr. led the national champions with 6.5 sacks in 2021. He continued to impress at the combine with a wingspan of nearly 7 feet and ran his 40-yard dash in 4.48 seconds. As a rookie for San Francisco, what immediately stood out on Beal Jr.'s tape was not his ability to get to the quarterback, but rather stop the run. On this play, for instance, you can see how Beal Jr. does an excellent job of getting outside contained before getting this running back down. And while this seems simple, it's really challenging for a lot of rookies. If he wasn't able to get outside contained here, for instance, then Carson Wentz would have just pulled it and they get a massive gain of at least 20, 25, who knows. But for me, headed into his rookie season, I thought he was just going to be a pure pass rusher. But here, he showed that he had the ability to learn what the defense needed out of him and then execute. In a similar way this offseason, Beal Jr. was told that he needed to add muscle to be successful at the next level, so he did it. I'm saying this all to highlight maybe Beal Jr.'s most important skill, his ability to be coached. Right now, for instance, San Francisco has Leonard Floyd on the roster, so if Beal Jr. could just learn one pass rush move from him, that would be a major win. That's more so the case when you consider how freakishly athletic RBJ actually is. He's 6'4", but ran his 40-yard dash in 4.48 seconds. According to San Francisco's own analytic department, he had the quickest first step of any defensive lineman in his entire draft class. This skill is especially beneficial to San Francisco's wide 9 system that prioritizes a defensive lineman's ability to get up the field to pressure the quarterback. Of all things that I think really stands out about Robert Beal Jr., it's his ability to understand the game plan of the defensive coach. On this play, for instance, you can see how Robert Beal Jr. first gets outside contained on their mobile quarterback, Carson Wentz. And then once he does get the outside contained, that forces a throw it deep down the field. In a similar way on this play, RBJ helps out D. Winters by chipping this tight end, which really disrupts the timing of this entire route. But that's not to say Beal Jr. didn't impress with his pass rush moves. On this play, for instance, I thought he showed off a pretty good swim move. And all of this came from a season in which Beal Jr. was battling with a hamstring injury, so headed into 2024, it may be a true breakout year for him. But ultimately, these are just my thoughts on the potential breakout player in RBJ heading into training camp, and I want to hear one of yours down below.